We are talking now with Nebraska football general manager Sean Padden. You've worked with Coach Rule now for 9 of his 11 seasons as he was head football coach. When you go back to your first gig, though, with Coach Rule, how did that turn into this working relationship that's lasted as long as it has and has led you to Lincoln, Nebraska?
Coach Rule and I first met each other in 1999. We were coaching at Albright College in Reading, Pennsylvania. It's a proud D3 program. And I coached the defensive line. He coached the linebackers. And we just became good friends. I think we made $1,800. We had a meal card, had a good working relationship. So when he became a head coach, I was living in Philadelphia. So I'd coached for about 10 years, and I was in the private sector for 10 years. When he became a head coach at Temple, I thought, heck, I could really help with the football operations. And so that's where we reunited and took off.
Well, let's flip the page a little bit. As someone who's been involved in recruiting in the NCAA as long as you have, what's your take on the current NIL situation, and how have you seen it change the process of building a successful roster?
I love NIL. I think it's great. I think when people really understand how this is helping some young people, and over the years, the inability to help some young people and how it would sort of break your heart when you would get an understanding of what someone's faced with at home, and they sort of feel guilty when they're here and they can't help out back at home. And now to be able to take the steam out of some of those situations is really wonderful. I think it's a great thing. I embrace it. As far as how it changed the process, it is another factor, but and different factors have different sizings for different kids in terms of, oh, well, I don't like the weather, or I want to play right away, or you don't have my major, or there's all sorts of different variables. I like this coach. It's this distance from home. It's this much money, NIL. It's a piece of it. And I love the fact that you can investigate throughout this process how big a piece it is for that individual or for that particular family. And because we're in a great situation here, it allows us to fulfill a good deal of folks' needs with regard to that. It allows us to be very competitive within the market, but it also allows us to understand, is this all this individual is about? Is this the only thing? Is this the most important thing? Because if it's the most important thing, this might not be the right fit for you. If you're out here trying to win the sweepstakes, like, there's probably somewhere else you should go in terms of a cultural type of circumstance that we want to have within our locker room, and I think that's what we're trying to create.
It's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. And let me ask you, I guess to this point, you're talking about Nebraska is in a good situation largely because of folks like the people running the 1890 initiative. How has that collective built a success, or how do you see that part of building success here as an NCAA football program?
Well, the way I see it is that the success that we have had is certainly because of what they've built at 1890, but the petrol, the gasoline that makes it run are the Nebraska fan base. And I am absolutely grateful for 1890 and all that they have done and all that they have built. But keep in mind that external donations, people that donate, all of that money goes towards a student athlete. So they built the machine, they built the race car, but the gasoline is the folks out there that can contribute to 1890, the everyday people that can help us out little bit by little bit, because it's here to stay and we want to be great at it.
How competitive is Nebraska at this point? Do we still need to build things up to, as we look, I guess, at Big Ten and other powerhouse schools across the nation?
I think we're as competitive as anybody out here in the space. We want to not be competitive. We want to blow past everybody else. We want to be great at it. And if it's a case of best fan base wins, I'll take Nebraska.
I'll say it again, that is music to the listeners' ears. Sean, thanks for the time and the insights. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Bryce.